Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a moment. We've been fed a lie that says you should be kind to everyone, that you should give and never ask for anything in return. That's not kindness, that's self-betrayal. And I'll tell you why. There is a difference between being a good person and being a doormat. If you spend your life giving kindness to those who don't respect it, don't appreciate it, and don't reciprocate it, you're not being kind. So today, I'm going to give you 10 hard-hitting truths that will change the way you see kindness forever. Because real kindness is intentional, not unconditional. Let me ask you something. If you had a bucket of water and only a few drops left, would you keep pouring it out for others until you were left with nothing? No. But that's exactly what so many people do with their energy. They give and they give, pouring out their kindness like an endless river, hoping that one day someone will turn around and do the same for them. But the truth is, if you keep giving kindness to people who drain you, eventually you'll have nothing left for those who truly deserve it, including yourself. Have you ever felt exhausted? Not physically, but emotionally? Like you've stretched yourself so thin trying to be there for everyone, only to realize that when you need someone, there's no one there for you? That's because kindness without boundaries leads to self-destruction. It's not selflessness, it's self-neglect. And when you continuously give without receiving, you don't just lose your energy, you lose your sense of self-worth. Imagine a candle that burns brightly, lighting up the room. Now imagine that same candle burning at both ends, trying to spread light in every direction. What happens? It burns out faster. And that's what happens when you keep showing up for people who never show up for you. You're burning away your energy, your time, your heart, without ever stopping to ask yourself, do these people deserve what I'm giving? Do they appreciate it? Have they earned my kindness? We live in a world where we're taught that being kind is the ultimate virtue. That to be a good person, you have to say yes when someone asks for your help. That turning the other cheek is the best way to respond to cruelty. That love means sacrifice even when it hurts. But let me tell you something. Kindness is only powerful when it's intentional, when it's given to those who see its value. When you give without standards, without expectations, you don't spread love. You invite exploitation. Think about the last time you did something for someone who never even said thank you. The last time you went out of your way for a person who made you feel like an afterthought. The last time you prioritized someone who never considered you a priority. How did that feel? Did it make you stronger? Did it make you feel loved? Or did it leave you feeling empty, used, and questioning why you even tried? Now, I'm not saying to stop being kind. No, kindness is one of the greatest gifts you can offer the world. But real kindness, the kind that changes lives, including your own, has limits. It's not about withholding love or compassion. It's about making sure that your kindness is respected, reciprocated, and valued. Because when you give and give without boundaries, you teach people that they can take from you without consequence. And the more you allow yourself to be drained, the less you'll have to give to those who actually deserve it. Have you ever noticed that the people who take the most are often the ones who give the least? They call you when they need something, but they disappear when you need them. They expect you to be there, yet they never once ask if you're okay. They accept your generosity like it's their birthright, but never consider returning the favor. And you, because you have a good heart, keep giving, keep hoping, keep believing that if you just give a little more, maybe, just maybe, they'll finally appreciate you. But that's not how it works. If someone doesn't appreciate you now, they won't appreciate you after you've given them everything. Because appreciation isn't born from how much you give, it's born from who they are. And some people, no matter how much you give, will never see your value. Not because you're not worthy, but because they are incapable of seeing beyond themselves. So, what's the solution? It's simple, but not easy. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn to walk away. You have to learn that your kindness is a privilege, not an obligation, that your time is valuable, that your love is precious, and that not everyone is entitled to the pieces of you that you so willingly give. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. Setting boundaries doesn't make you cruel. Prioritizing yourself doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you wise. It makes you strong. It makes you someone who understands their worth. And when you truly know your worth, you stop settling for relationships that leave you empty. You stop chasing after people who don't care if you stay or go. You stop trying to prove your value to those who were never capable of seeing it in the first place. Think about the people in your life right now. Who are the ones that lift you up? Who are the ones that show up when you need them? Who are the ones that love you not for what you do for them, but simply for who you are? Those are the people who deserve your kindness. Those are the people who deserve your time. And most importantly, you are someone who deserves your own kindness, because at the end of the day, the person who needs your love the most isn't the one who takes from you endlessly. It's the one staring back at you in the mirror. If you take nothing else from this, remember this. Your kindness is a gift. Don't waste it on people who treat it like a burden. Give it freely but wisely. Love deeply but intentionally. And never, ever forget that you too deserve the same love, kindness, and respect that you so freely give to others. This is a hard truth, one that doesn't sit well at first. It challenges the way we were raised, the ideals we hold, the principles we've clung to like a life raft in a storm. We are taught that kindness is a virtue, that it is something we should extend to all people, regardless of who they are or how they treat us, that if we are just patient enough, just understanding enough, just kind enough, people will change. They will see the light. They will recognize our goodness and respond in kind. But life doesn't work that way. Reality has a different script, and it does not always reward kindness. Some people see kindness as an invitation to take advantage, a signal that you can be manipulated, a weakness to be exploited. They don't reciprocate. They don't appreciate. They don't change. They just keep taking, pushing, demanding more until you are drained, depleted, and wondering what happened to the person you used to be. You keep telling yourself that if you just give a little more, if you just show a little more grace, they will finally see your worth. But that day never comes, and it never will. Because the hard truth is this: not everyone deserves your kindness. Not everyone is worthy of the softness you carry in your heart. And if you don't learn this, if you don't accept this, the world will teach it to you in the hardest way possible. It is not cruel to withhold kindness from those who abuse it. It is not wrong to protect yourself from those who only seek to take from you. It is not selfish to demand respect, to enforce boundaries, to say enough. There is nothing noble about being used. There is nothing virtuous about sacrificing yourself for those who wouldn't do the same for you. Kindness should be earned. It should be given to those who respect it, who appreciate it, who honor it, the way it deserves to be honored. Too many of us have been conditioned to believe that we must be kind at all costs, that walking away, cutting ties, protecting ourselves is somehow an act of cruelty. But let me ask you something. When was the last time your kindness changed someone who didn't want to change? When was the last time giving someone endless chances made them treat you better? When was the last time sacrificing your own peace made the situation better? It didn't, did it? Because that's not how it works. Some people do not grow when given kindness. They grow when faced with consequences. Some people will never respect you as long as you keep showing up for them after they've disrespected you. Some people only learn through loss. And the only way they will ever understand the value of your kindness is if they no longer have access to it. You are not responsible for fixing people. You are not obligated to carry the weight of their issues, their insecurities, their toxic behaviors. It is not your job to save people who do not want to be saved. And it is not your responsibility to love people into loving you back. The right people will not require you to lose yourself to prove your worth. The right people will not need you to sacrifice your peace just to earn their respect. The right people will not see your kindness as an invitation to take advantage. If someone continuously disrespects you, discredits you, disregards your feelings, then it's time to stop giving them your kindness. It's time to stop pouring into a cup that never fills. It's time to stop expecting someone who has never valued you to suddenly change. It is not an act of love to let someone repeatedly hurt you. It is not an act of kindness to allow yourself to be mistreated. It is not an act of strength to endure pain that was never meant for you to carry. This is where boundaries come in. Boundaries are not walls, they are standards. They are the lines you draw to protect your energy, your peace, your heart. They are the way you teach people how to treat you, and if someone refuses to respect your boundaries, they are telling you everything you need to know. They are showing you that they do not deserve a seat at your table, that they do not value your kindness in the way it was meant to be valued. So let go of the guilt. Let go of the idea that withholding kindness from those who abuse it makes you a bad person. It does not. It makes you someone who finally understands their worth. It makes you someone who refuses to be a doormat. It makes you someone who is strong enough to walk away from situations that no longer serve them. Because you deserve better than one-sided relationships. You deserve better than empty apologies and repeated patterns. You deserve better than people who only love you when it's convenient for them. And when you finally stop giving your kindness to the wrong people, something incredible happens. You make room for the right ones. The ones who see you, the ones who respect you, the ones who pour into you the way you pour into them. You make space for relationships that are built on mutual care, on genuine appreciation, on love that doesn't require you to lose yourself in the process. Not everyone deserves your kindness, but the ones who do, they will remind you why it was worth protecting in the first place. Too many people confuse kindness with constant agreement, mistaking self-sacrifice for generosity. But the truth is, saying yes to everyone all the time is the quickest path to losing yourself. It's how you wake up one day exhausted, drained, and wondering how your life became a never-ending list of obligations that don't even belong to you. It's how you let your dreams slip through your fingers while tending to everyone else's needs, until the only thing left of you is the hollowed-out shell of a person who once had ambitions, desires, and a voice that mattered. I once knew a woman who lived this reality. She was the person everyone leaned on, the friend who always picked up the phone, the coworker who covered shifts, the family member who put everyone else first. She never said no. She gave her time, her money, her energy. She carried the weight of other people's problems like they were her own, believing that love meant sacrifice and that her worth was measured by how much she could give. Until one day, she collapsed. Her body gave out before her mind ever could. A doctor told her what she had refused to see. Stress was eroding her health. Her kindness, her endless generosity, had turned into a slow poison that was killing her. So she made a decision. She started saying no, not all at once, not aggressively, but firmly. She stopped answering calls that drained her. She declined invitations that didn't serve her peace. She chose herself. And do you know what happened? The people who had relied on her so much, the ones who said they couldn't do without her, disappeared. Just like that. They weren't there for her. They were there for what she could do for them. And the moment she stopped being a resource, they moved on. That is the moment she realized something powerful. Saying no is not cruel, it is necessary. It is the ultimate act of self-respect. Because the truth is, the people who truly care about you don't love you for what you give them, they love you for who you are. And those who leave when you set boundaries were never there for you to begin with. They were there for what they could extract. And the moment you stop allowing yourself to be extracted, they will vanish, leaving you with the people who actually belong in your life. How many times have you said yes when every fiber of your being screamed no? How many times have you agreed to something just to avoid disappointing someone else at the cost of disappointing yourself? Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to something you do. You are saying no to your peace, your rest, your passions, and if you do it long enough, you start to forget who you are. You become a puppet pulled in every direction but your own. But when you say no, when you stand firm in your truth, that is when you reclaim yourself. That is when you rediscover your power, because no is a complete sentence. It does not require explanation or justification. It does not need to be softened or followed by guilt. It is a declaration of self-worth. And when you learn to wield it, you stop living for everyone else's approval and start living for your own peace. I know it isn't easy. I know the fear that comes with it. The worry that people will think you're selfish, that they will be disappointed. But let me ask you this. Why is everyone else allowed to prioritize themselves, but you are not? Why is it okay for others to put their needs first, but when you do it, it's suddenly wrong? That double standard does not serve you. And the people who truly love you will understand. Because those who matter will respect your boundaries, and those who don't respect them, they never respected you. When you start saying no, something incredible happens. You start making space for what truly matters. You begin attracting people who see you not as a tool, but as a person. You find relationships built on mutual respect, not one-sided sacrifice. You gain time to pursue your passions, to rest, to exist without constantly proving your worth through service to others. And most importantly, you rediscover yourself, the person you were before the world told you that your value was tied to your usefulness. So the next time you feel that familiar pressure, the expectation to say yes out of obligation, guilt, or fear, I want you to pause. I want you to remember that your time is your own. Your energy is sacred, and you do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting it. Saying no is not rejection, it is self-preservation. It is drawing a line and saying, I matter too. If you have spent your life saying yes at the expense of your own well-being, today is the day you change that. Today is the day you take back your power. Because the truth is, you cannot give to others from an empty cup. You cannot be everything to everyone and still be something to yourself. And the moment you realize this, truly realize it, is the moment you become free. Saying no is not selfish. It is the highest form of self-respect. And when you master it, you do not lose people. You lose the ones who never deserved you in the first place. If you don't value yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? This isn't just a motivational quote or a passing idea. It's a fundamental truth that determines the course of your relationships, your career, and your entire life. The way you show up, the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set, and the energy you bring into a room tell the world exactly how you expect to be treated. And let's be clear, people will only ever treat you at the level you allow. Have you ever noticed that the people who demand respect get it? The ones who walk with purpose, who speak with conviction, who radiate self-assurance. Those are the people others listen to, admire, and even aspire to be like. But on the flip side, those who shrink themselves down, who hesitate, who apologize for taking up space, those are the ones who get overlooked, dismissed, and taken advantage of. This isn't a coincidence. It's a direct reflection of the value they place on themselves. When you walk into a room, you're sending out a message before you even open your mouth. Your posture, your energy, your presence all communicate one thing: what you believe you are worth. And let me tell you, the world will always take you at your own estimate. If you carry yourself like you deserve to be respected, admired, and valued, people will respond accordingly. But if you act like an afterthought, if you allow yourself to be an option rather than a priority, then that's exactly how you'll be treated. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I'm a good person. I give so much. I work hard. I always put others first. And that's beautiful. It really is. But let's get real for a second. If you constantly give without expecting anything in return, you're not being kind. You're allowing yourself to be drained. If you're always available, always saying yes, always accommodating, you're not being generous. You're being taken for granted. And if you never set boundaries, if you never demand respect, then you're not being selfless. You're teaching people that your needs don't matter. People will always take as much as you allow them to. It's not because they're bad or malicious, it's simply human nature. If you make yourself available 24/7, people will expect you to be available 24/7. If you always say yes, they'll never hesitate to ask more of you. And if you never stand up for yourself, they'll assume it's because you don't believe you're worth fighting for. And let's be brutally honest, if you don't believe you're worth it, why should they? So, here's the shift you need to make. You need to decide right now that you are valuable. Not because of what you do for others, not because of how much you give, not because of how much you accomplish. You are valuable simply because you exist. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. Because when you value yourself, you set boundaries not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You stop saying yes to things that drain you and start saying yes to things that fulfill you. You stop bending over backward for people who wouldn't do the same for you and start prioritizing those who genuinely appreciate you. You stop allowing disrespect, manipulation, and neglect into your life because you recognize that you deserve better. And guess what happens when you do this? People start treating you differently. They respect your time because they see that you respect your time. They appreciate your effort because they see that you appreciate yourself. They value your presence because you have made it clear that your presence is a privilege, not an obligation. Now let's talk about the moments when this is going to be hard, because there will be moments. When you start valuing yourself, some people won't like it. The ones who benefited from your lack of boundaries, the ones who took without giving, the ones who were comfortable with you playing small, they will resist. They will push back. They will make you feel guilty, call you selfish, say you've changed. And you know what? Let them, because you have changed. You've stopped living for the approval of others and started living for yourself. And the people who truly matter, the ones who genuinely respect and love you, they won't just accept the new you, they'll celebrate you. But here's the real magic. When you start valuing yourself, you give permission for others to do the same. You become a living example of what self-respect looks like. You inspire others to raise their own standards, to demand more, to believe in their own worth. And that is powerful. That is life-changing. That is how you shift not just your own reality, but the reality of those around you. So what does this look like in action? It means speaking up when something doesn't feel right. It means saying no without guilt. It means choosing relationships that uplift you instead of ones that drain you. It means walking into every room with the knowledge that you belong there. It means never settling for less than you deserve. Not in love, not in business, not in life. And here's the final truth. The world will treat you exactly as you demand to be treated. Not as you hope, not as you wish, but as you insist. So from this moment on, decide. Decide that you are worthy. Decide that you are enough. Decide that you deserve respect, success, happiness, and love. And then live like it, walk like it, speak like it. Because when you value yourself, the world has no choice but to follow suit. Some of you have spent years pouring love into people who only take and never give back. You have extended patience to those who squander it, given forgiveness to those who abuse it, and shown understanding to those who refuse to see beyond their own needs. You have held on to the belief that if you just love them enough, if you give them enough time, if you are good enough to them, they will finally wake up and change. But here's what life has taught us. People don't change just because you wish they would. No amount of kindness can force a selfish heart to open. No level of patience can make someone see your worth if they are determined to be blind to it. And no depth of love can reach a soul that isn't willing to be reached. You've been conditioned to believe that good always returns to those who give it. And yes, in many ways, the energy we put out does come back to us. But here's where people get trapped. They expect it to come back from the same place they gave it to. You've given love, respect, and loyalty to someone, and you expect them to return it. And when they don't, you wait, you excuse, you hope, you keep giving, thinking that eventually they will see. But what if they never do? You must understand this. Some people are takers. Some people will take the light in your soul, the fire in your spirit, and the love in your heart, and never feel a single ounce of gratitude for it. Not because you aren't enough, but because they aren't capable. And that is a hard truth to swallow. You were taught that if you do right by people, they will do right by you. And that's a beautiful thought, but it's not always reality. Reality is that some people are so consumed with their own needs, their own desires, their own empty voids, that they will take everything you offer and still ask for more. And if you let them, they will drain you dry. This is not about becoming bitter. This is not about giving up on kindness. It's about understanding where to place your energy. It's about learning the difference between loving people and losing yourself. It's about recognizing when your kindness is being mistaken for weakness, when your patience is being exploited, and when your loyalty is keeping you stuck in a cycle that no longer serves you. You cannot make someone appreciate you. You cannot teach someone to value you by sacrificing more of yourself. If someone does not see your worth, it is not your job to convince them. It is your job to walk away and find the ones who do. How many times have you given people second chances they didn't deserve? How many nights have you lost sleep wondering what more you could do to make them see? How many pieces of yourself have you chipped away just to fit into their world, to be enough for them, to earn their love, their respect, their acknowledgement? And what has it given you in return? You have spent too much time waiting for people to change, hoping that one day they will wake up and realize how much you've done for them. But that's not how it works. People don't change because you love them. They change because they decide to. And if they haven't made that decision, no amount of your love will change them. This is where you must take back your power. Because every time you allow someone to take you for granted, every time you hold on to someone who doesn't value you, every time you give to someone who never gives back, you are telling yourself that this is all you deserve. And that is a lie. You are not here to fix people. You are not here to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. You are not here to endlessly give to those who only know how to take. You are here to shine, to grow, to love fully and deeply, but only where that love is reciprocated. So stop expecting people to change just because you were good to them. Stop expecting your love to be enough to heal someone who refuses to heal. Stop expecting that your kindness will turn them into someone they are not ready to become. Accept them as they are, not as you wish them to be, and then make a choice. Are you going to keep waiting, keep giving, keep hoping? Or are you going to choose yourself, walk away, and give that love, that energy, that kindness to those who truly deserve it? Because the truth is, the moment you stop waiting for someone else to change and start focusing on your own growth, your own happiness, your own worth, that is the moment you truly set yourself free. Real kindness is not about being agreeable, nor is it about allowing people to continue down a path of self-destruction just because it feels easier in the moment. It's about having the courage to step in when it matters most. It's about standing firm when everyone else turns a blind eye. Because when you truly care about someone, you don't just let them crash and burn. You don't whisper about their mistakes behind their back, hoping they'll somehow find their way. You face them. You challenge them. You make them see what they refuse to see. Because that is what real kindness looks like. We live in a world that has confused kindness with passivity. We think that keeping the peace means staying silent, that supporting people means never questioning them. But that is not kindness, that is fear. And fear masquerading as kindness is one of the most dangerous things we allow in our relationships. Fear of confrontation, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort. These fears keep us from stepping up when someone we care about is veering off course. They keep us from speaking the truth because we worry it will make us the bad guy. But when did honesty become cruel? When did accountability become something we run from instead of something we embrace? Think about the times in your life when someone told you something you didn't want to hear but desperately needed to. Maybe a mentor told you to stop making excuses. Maybe a friend called you out for treating others poorly. Maybe a loved one looked you in the eye and told you that you were capable of more. And in that moment, maybe you were angry, maybe you were defensive, maybe you wanted to push them away. But later, when the dust settled, you realized something. They were right. They weren't tearing you down. They weren't attacking you. They were showing you real kindness, the kind that refuses to watch you settle for less than what you're capable of. If you love someone, you don't enable their worst behaviors. You don't let them destroy relationships, sabotage opportunities, or make decisions that will ruin their future. You don't ignore the problem because it's easier for you. You hold them accountable because accountability is love. Accountability is respect. It's saying, I see you. I know who you are. I know what you're capable of, and I refuse to stand by and watch you throw it away. That is kindness in its purest form. It takes strength to be that kind of person. It takes courage to look someone in the eye and say, you are better than this. Because they might not thank you right away. They might push back. They might get angry. But at the end of the day, when they look back, they'll remember the ones who told them the truth. They'll remember the ones who loved them enough to fight for them, even when they didn't want to listen. Now, I'm not talking about being cruel. I'm not talking about shaming people or tearing them down. I'm talking about challenging them in a way that lifts them up. Because there's a difference between being critical and being constructive. There's a difference between putting someone in their place and helping them rise to the place they belong. Real kindness doesn't come from a place of superiority. It comes from a place of belief. Belief in who they are, belief in what they can do, belief that they are capable of more than they realize. And sometimes the hardest person to hold accountable is yourself. We are so quick to call out the flaws in others, but when was the last time you held up a mirror and asked yourself the hard questions? Are you making excuses for your own behavior? Are you avoiding the tough conversations you know you need to have? Are you letting yourself off the hook when you know you should be pushing harder? True kindness starts with you. It starts with recognizing your own shortcomings and challenging yourself to grow. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, how can you expect to be honest with anyone else? We all want to be liked. We all want to be accepted. But at what cost? Are you willing to compromise your values? Are you willing to watch someone you love self-destruct just so you don't have to feel uncomfortable? Because that's not love. That's not kindness. That's self-preservation disguised as care. And it's a betrayal, not just to them, but to yourself. The people who truly care about you will never ask you to shrink to make them comfortable. They will never ask you to lie to protect their feelings. They will want the truth. They will crave the truth because they know that growth is only possible when we face the things we don't want to face. They know that real change happens when we stop pretending and start confronting. So who in your life needs you to be honest with them? Who in your life is waiting for someone to care enough to tell them the truth? And what about you? What truths do you need to face? Because this is what separates those who live in their full potential from those who stay stuck. It's the willingness to be real, the willingness to be uncomfortable, the willingness to stand up for what matters even when it's hard. Real kindness is not weakness. It's not about being agreeable. It's about being strong enough to say what needs to be said. It's about believing in someone enough to push them to be better. And it's about having the courage to do it, even when it's not the easy thing to do. Because the people who matter, the ones who truly value you, they will respect you for it. And one day they'll look back and realize that your honesty was one of the greatest gifts they ever received. Kindness is not a currency with unlimited supply. It is not something that should be handed out without thought, without consideration, or without expectation. Yet, so many people have been conditioned to believe that kindness is a blanket policy, an obligation, a duty to be dispersed equally among all. That is a lie, a dangerous, soul-draining lie. Kindness is a privilege, and just like any privilege, it must be earned. Imagine your kindness as a wellspring of energy. Every time you give it, you're pouring from that well. If you pour too much into barren land where nothing grows, where nothing returns, where nothing even acknowledges your offering, what happens? Your well runs dry. You are left empty, depleted, and resentful. And for what? To prove that you're a good person? To satisfy some invisible societal expectation that tells you giving is always noble? Giving without discernment is not noble, it is foolish. You have been tricked, lied to, conditioned to believe that being a kind person means being an endlessly giving person, that it means tolerating mistreatment, accepting disrespect, and remaining patient with those who only take, never give. That it means sacrificing yourself for the sake of others who don't even acknowledge the value of what you're offering. But here's the truth. Kindness is only valuable when it is given to those who understand its worth. Consider this. If you had a priceless gem in your hands, would you toss it to someone who doesn't care? Would you give it to someone who steps on it, spits on it, tosses it aside like it's nothing? Of course not. You would give it to someone who cherishes it, someone who sees its beauty, someone who knows its value. Your kindness is that gem, your energy, your love, your time, your compassion. They are not infinite resources. They must be invested wisely. Too many people live their lives in a loop of endless giving. They give to friends who don't show up when they need them. They give to partners who take and never return. They give to colleagues who exploit their generosity. They give to family members who demand more but never appreciate what has already been given. And every time they do, they tell themselves it's the right thing to do, that kindness is unconditional, that love should not expect a return. And yet they go to bed exhausted, drained, frustrated, asking themselves, why do I feel so empty? Because you have been watering soil that does not nourish you in return. Because you have been handing out your kindness to those who see it as weakness. Because you have mistaken self-sacrifice for virtue when it is nothing more than slow self-destruction. It is time to take that power back. It is time to be strategic with your kindness. Not everyone deserves your warmth. Not everyone deserves your generosity. Not everyone deserves the space you carve out in your heart for them. That space should be reserved for those who appreciate, reciprocate, and respect you. It should be given to those who don't just take your kindness but return it tenfold. Who understand that kindness is a two-way street, not a one-sided transaction. Some will tell you that true kindness expects nothing in return. That is another lie. Because the truth is, real kindness thrives in reciprocity. It flourishes in relationships where both parties give and receive, where mutual respect exists, where kindness is not just given but nurtured, appreciated, and multiplied. To give endlessly without expectation is not kindness, it is self-betrayal. The world is filled with people who will exploit your kindness if you let them. They will take what you give, use it for their own benefit, and leave you with nothing. They will expect you to always be the one who understands, the one who forgives, the one who sacrifices. And if you ever stop, if you ever say, enough, if you ever decide to withhold your kindness from those who don't deserve it, they will call you selfish. They will call you cruel. They will tell you that you have changed. Let them. Because you have changed. You have awakened. You have recognized your worth. And you have decided that your kindness is not a free sample to be handed out indiscriminately. It is a privilege, and it belongs to those who earn it. So ask yourself, who in your life truly deserves your kindness? Who values it? Who returns it? Who sees it as the precious gift that it is? Give to those people. Pour into those relationships. Nourish the connections that nourish you. And stop wasting your energy on those who don't. The world will not end if you stop being kind to the wrong people. It will begin. For the first time, you will feel what it's like to be truly appreciated, to be truly valued, to be truly seen. And when that happens, your kindness will not feel like a burden. It will feel like a gift, the kind of gift that keeps on giving, the kind of gift that multiplies, the kind of gift that changes everything. Save your kindness for those who deserve it. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to the world to use your kindness where it truly matters. If you take nothing else from this speech, take this. You are not required to be kind to everyone. You are not obligated to keep giving your energy to people who drain you. You do not owe your kindness to those who abuse it. From this day forward, be intentional with your kindness. Be selective. Be wise. And watch how your life changes when you start protecting your most valuable asset, yourself.